What's up, guys? John here. The great economic crash of 2024 will not be televised. It will be unlike what we witnessed in 2008 when Lehman Brothers fell and every mainstream media outlet covered how bad the real estate market was, the stock market, the job market.
2008 was a tumultuous year for the economy. The housing market collapsed.
2.6 million jobs were cut from the economy last year.
People were talking about bank collapses and bank runs. Everyone was in sheer panic mode. Well, now the stories are completely different. And the reason for this is we have something really big happening at the end of this year. And what we're going to likely see here is every single month things are going to get a little bit harder, just a little bit worse. Living standards are going to fall just by a little bit.
And the burden of record high inflation has continued to push the limits for people across the country.
More Americans are leaving the United States for good.
And before you know it, by the end of this year, we're going to start to see people doing things they otherwise would never imagine just to make ends meet. And then 2025 and 2026 is going to roll around. We're going to start talking more about universal basic incomes and how we can bring in social services and increase taxes to combat inequality.
Guaranteed income are popping up around the country.
Top 1% hold nearly 10 times more wealth than the bottom 50% combined.
All of these things are now underway, and you can connect the dots very clearly inside of all of these articles. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on and what Janet Yellen says comes next to help you and position you for what I think is going to be the greatest transfer of assets in American history. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate the people about what's going on in America's economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow, for Monday. Take a look at this. So January hiring was the lowest on record. It was the lowest on record as layoff surge. So this came out on the 1st of February. Then they said that U.S. applications for unemployment benefits fall again. So think about this. It's the lowest on record, but yet applications for unemployment falls again. How does that make any sense? Then they say U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs when they were predicting 185,000. And so they're off by over 100%. So you start to connect the dots here. What they're trying to say is the economy is booming, everything is great, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Well, I mean, financial distress leads to surge in early 401k withdrawals, bank report shows. This is Forbes. Then you have MarketWatch. I'm dipping into my Roth IRA. I've been unemployed for 5 months. I used to earn $10,000 a month. Do I sell my house? This came out yesterday, February 10th. And then you have 41% of respondents stopped contributing money to a retirement account in 2022 as a direct result of skyrocketing everyday costs by 32%, withdrew some of their retirement savings to keep up with inflation. And so you just start looking at all these numbers here. Like, for example, here, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the cost of store-bought food increased 23.5% from February 2020 to May 2023. So by now, I mean, 25%, 30%, some would argue more. Right? So over the course of 4 years, right? So you start to look at this, what's happening? What's happening right now? Wages have barely moved since then. I mean, here's what they've done. Wages and salaries increased 4.5% for the 12-month period ending in December 2021 and increased 2.6% in the 12-month period ending December 2020. So collectively, about 7.1% wages have increased, yet the cost of, basic necessities went up 25% or 30%, right? So what does that mean? That means a reduction in living standards over 25%, right? 25%. And you start to connect these dots here. 60% of millennials now are living with their parents. And in Los Angeles, it's upwards of 35% of people, 30, 40 years old living with parents. And this is how much things have increased. How U.S. consumer prices have evolved since 2020. Transportation up 28.1%, food and beverage 23.4%, housing costs 19.8%, other goods and services 18.8%, recreation 12.3%. So what you're going to start to see here is something really interesting. You're going to see fast food, Big Mac meals and, Chipotle and all of these meals going up to $25, $30 over the next couple of years. It might sound far-fetched, but right now, certain McDonald's are charging a Big Mac combo is nearly $18. Chipotle is increasing prices. I saw a video on TikTok just the other day. Someone got a burrito with extra meat. It was $24. $24. No guacamole. $24, right? And they're going to continue to raise prices because in California and certain other states, 16 other states are increasing minimum wage. This is all going to put a lot more pressure on these companies. And what are they going to do? They're going to push the automation and they're going to continue to increase prices. But it makes me realize just how far America has come over the last couple of years. For example, in 2020, 30% of Americans missed their housing payments. 30% of Americans. And so what happened during that period? PPP loans, EIDL loans, stimulus checks, you had eviction moratoriums, you had forbearance programs. People just pushed off obligations and debt expenses for another day. And now everything is starting to come due. Everything is starting to, happen. For example, student loans, and you had, the forbearances recently ended, several months ago. So you're seeing all these things happening right now. I mean, right now, 40% of Americans can't pay their student loans. That is just a massive number. 40% of student loan borrowers with their first deadline in October did not make payments by mid-November. Then you just start to connect these dots here. So 29.6% of residents in the nation's 100 largest metros are behind on at least one debt payment during the third quarter of last year, right? 30%. Service workers need to make less money so inflation can go down, right? This is according to a Fed governor. So you start to connect these dots here, you're going to see one thing clearly. The Fed's not going to pivot. There's not going to be any type of Fed pivot most likely this year. We might see one increase or maybe 125 basis point reduction, but we're not going to see the 6 cuts that they were anticipating. And there's a reason for this. So take a look at this. So no Fed pivot in sight as Powell addresses rate cuts in 60 minutes. There was rampant speculation at the Federal Open Market Committee meeting last week about the timing and number of interest rate cuts this year. In a follow-up interview on 60 Minutes on Sunday, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell did not sound like someone who has pivoted, right? Then this is the big story here, and it's now starting to become, more and more of a quiet talking point. De-dollarization is happening. Our country is ditching USD in favor of China's yuan. You have Janet Yellen coming out saying a natural desire to diversify. Janet Yellen says Americans should anticipate a decline in USD as the world's reserve currency, which you need to know and how to prepare. So how do we get a Fed pivot if other countries are de-dollarizing and not buying our debt? We most likely don't, right? And so when you're putting out stories that the job market is booming, jobless claims and unemployment demand is, fading, and all these stories, what does this do? It says, the economy is okay. Everything is okay. We can keep interest rates higher for longer. And, that's what's going to likely happen. But as that begins to unfold, the job market is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, and people are going to have less money to spend. And we're going to see more and more people defaulting on their bills. It's going to go from, this 29.6% of residents in the nation's 100 largest metros behind at least one payment, go to 40 to 50%, right? We're going to continue to see this, and then out of nowhere, it's going to hit like a freight train. For example, the World Economic Forum came out and said right here that today's centralized global monetary and financial system, featuring a dominant U.S. dollar, mutates into a world with multiple reserve currencies and financial powers of influence, mirroring the shift from the British pound to the U.S. dollar as a reserve asset, as economic importance traditionally leads financially and monetary preeminence. The euro and renminbi are likely to gain importance alongside the U.S. dollar and increasingly meet the world's demand for the reserve currencies and safe assets. So, if you have America that's moving away from fossil fuels and switching to green energy, which is most likely going to, be inflationary, you have our high cost of living. How do we compete with a country like India? How do we compete with China and some of these other countries? Sure, China has their own fair share of problems, but China's partnering up with Russia. They're partnering up with a lot of other countries, and they're most likely going to be able to work together to resolve these problems, unlike America. Unfortunately, America, you start to look at some of the policy decisions we've done over the last several years. We put 40% of all USD in circulation since 1776 over the last 36 months, right? We've changed our culture from, everything was made in America to now a big push to a 4-day work week. A lot of change is unfolding in America, pushing America, I would say, in the wrong direction, right? We're moving into the wrong direction. And it's going to be very, very hard for us to compete at our level that, we were doing so several decades ago. So what do I think is going to happen? Inflation is going to likely get worse. Interest rates are going to go higher for longer. The middle class is going to be forced to sell off a lot of assets. The rich are going to get a lot richer, and the poor are going to likely get poorer. But we still have some time. I believe this is all going to happen gradually over the next several years. And now with the power of the internet, people can make a lot of money. Those that are motivated, those that are ambitious, they can find ways in which they can learn, educate themselves, and make money online. But the chance to get rich is running out in this country. What do you think about all of this happening? You start to connect the dots on all these stories. You have to ask yourself, is this crash going to be televised like a 2008, 2009 type event? Or is it going to be just like this? Every single month, just a little bit worse. One big distraction on the mainstream media, one big conversation happening, drama here, drama there. Is that going to be the situation? Because nowadays, everyone's attention span has basically evaporated. People can't remember what happened last week, let alone some breaking story that happened a month ago, right? So every single month, I believe, is going to be just like that. Drop below, let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for this massive wealth transfer that we are walking into without doubt, we'd love to help fix your credit at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com and click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow, for Monday. I'll catch you next video.